Welcome you guys again to the regional call of March. And yeah, so this is me basically. For the last 6 months, we don't have a regional manager of operations, but right now you have me. So I will be here to ensure that we have the collaboration for bigger S&D within the regions and also happier customer. So I will talk a lot in terms of like finish to complete. And I hope you guys can also care about the testimonial from the EP as well. Collect more and more happy customer. Cool. And this is the topic today. We'll have a check-in and then we have some kind of performance reviews and inside graphical and then within some working spaces where you have some spaces for you to talk more. Because when you join the GV core of Global, you might have some things and you want to discuss with people and learn from each other, but there's not having enough time in the Global core. So this space is for you. So don't be shy and talk, okay? Nice. And you can change your name, your entities, and your role as well, so that actually we can see. For the check-in would be, what is your most memorable moment in February? And because our group is not that active, so you can drop your answer or your full photo on Telegram, or you can open your mic to share. First, you can share on the Telegram group like some of the photos that you feel, oh, I'm really happy watching these photos. So that you can share the happy moment to everyone in the operation group. Actually, in the GV space, I will share as well. Let's have some music so that you can. Oh, receiving IPM OGV award. Oh, yeah, this is so happy. Okay, and everyone can start sharing. To the Telegram group.
Can you hear me well? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect.
Anyone?
So, oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's just invite someone because we have this call very small, so everyone can share. We have Paris share already visiting Germany. Mommy have a hidden. Oh, the place is so beautiful. Me with my cute dog. How about the rest? We have Grana receiving IPM OTV award. How about Ada, Mihal, Dini, Jayan, Kan, Seville, Kristen? Any sharing? Annual functional visit. Wow. Everyone having visiting right now. Go, Mihal. Someone nominate you.
Yeah, I see. Actually, I don't have anything memorable to share for the previous month, but I think that the one thing that I think like was very like good for me mentally in a way that I've organized for myself 1 week of day off. I had something like this because also like our MCP was pushing for that, like only how you have the most of the days possible from team members, so maybe you should use it. So I decided, okay, I will use it, and it helped me a lot just to like turn off all the things connected with Isaac and just rest. So I could like it was easier for me to get back to the to work like when I came back, and I'm more productive. So this is something that I would also like recommend to you all to have some days off.
Wow.
Thank you.
Good tips. Thank you, Mihal. Yeah, take your day off, guys. I have 3 days off. from regional office as well. But I'm not really. Thank you for your tips as well. I will take after this. Paris, you nominate Giant. Giant, go. You wanna say? Giant. Okay. So we can move on, mommy.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome firstly to the GV call. Glad to see everyone here. So I'll be taking over from now on till a certain point, and then Min will be continuing after. But I wanted to introduce your FASTs for this GV regional call today. As you can see, most of you know, hopefully, Min, the regional manager operations for 2023. And then my name is Mami. I'm the ELD team leader for RST. And then Yasemin and Serkan are the GV specialists for the region of Europe. This is basically your FASTs for this call, and we'll be discussing about a couple of important things, as the previous agenda has been saying, so we can start. So in the performance review, we'll be going through the approval and RIA numbers of January and February. We'll go through a little bit of the funnels of IGV and OGV for both GVs and the conversion rates. And then after that, we'll have a little bit discussion about these numbers and these conversion rates. So for starters, for when we look at the overall performance for the month of January and the month of February, for approvals from the month of January, as you can see, GV has been having around 64% of the approval contribution for the products. After that, you have GTA of 29.6 and GTE for 6.5. Which is good to see this number as a number of contribution. And when we look at the realization, it's almost the same thing, just shy of 60%. And then you have GTE of 4% and GTA of 35%, which is expected when you look at the number of volume of projects, and the number of the volume of the applicants is mostly focused on the number of, the product of GV. But when we look at the February, you see a little bit of increase when 1% goes for GV approval contribution and GTA and GTE, which is good to hear, especially we're entering the month of universities are opening and the month of studies. So it's good to see a little bit of increase in contribution in GV, especially coming up with the next couple of months. And then we look at the contribution for realization. It dropped from the last month instead of increases of 59.4%, which is also understandable because university have started. A lot of people can't really go to GV during that time. So something we expected already, but still it's good to see a little bit of let's say it didn't drop so much. It's still saying the same thing, only 1% different, which is good to see. Moving on a little bit to the conversion rate and OGV funnel. A little bit, we'll go through the OGV funnel and how it looks so far. This is data generally has been collected from EXPA and DAL files, which you can take a look at. We will be sending you the presentations later on, but we have two comparisons. So these are data so far from February 1st to the February 28th. And basically it's going to be a comparison from the year before and the month before, so you can understand a little bit more about the data and how it looks. So from last year, we did in opportunities, we did definitely drop in 74%, which is something is a little bit concerning, which we are trying to still understand what is the issue with it. And this is something we're going to bring up in the discussion later on. Why has been this dropped so much, such a big since last year? The number of applicants was still also the drop in the number of applicant by negative 34%. Last year was 392 and this year is 292. And it's something a little bit concerning, especially the GV assumption happened last year. So it was a little bit harder to adapt last year than this year. So it is something we need to take in consideration for as an action plan, or basically a red flag where we need to work on and understand the reality of. Again, these numbers are on the region based. Maybe it's different in each entity, but these are numbers that represent the region of Europe so far. and accepted by host last year by 211. This year's 182. When we look at the drop, when we look at the conversion rate between last year and this year, definitely we have a higher conversion rate from number of applicant to accepted, which is a little bit good, I guess, as a footstep, but still the number is still lower, but it's expected, especially there's 100 applicant gap from this year to last year. After that, the number of accepted people after they signed the contract where they are interested from 165 last year's, and it's a good conversion rate than last year. Still a drop, but a better conversion rate. When you look at the number of approvals, that's something where we are we're happy to see 93 approvals last year, 138 approvals for this year. And this is a number, it means we have a better understanding, LCs have a better understanding how to track. For example, the number of applicants to approve is much better than last year. So definitely have been an increase. The only issue is that there are less of their diversity when it comes to approval numbers per entity. So last year was much more diverse when it comes to different entities having approvals. Right now, it's mainly a couple of entities that are doing contribution, but it's still definitely much better conversion rate from accepted to approve and the approval number from last year. And then you have either a number of realization, which is exactly like last year, meaning still no growth, but still no drop. Which is something we need to work on a little bit more. Again, it's understandable, it's off peak, a little bit slowly off peak for us, especially for Europe University are starting that time, but still that's something we need to take in consideration with the number of opens during the time. And the number of finished, we have increased in number of finished, but then we have a big drop when it comes to the number of completed. As you can see right now, the alerting pace of finished to completed is something really concerning where we need to take action steps on, where it's right now, from our understanding, it's only 14% for the whole entity for the month of February, finished to completed. So that's something concerning. But when we basically compare, when we compare from last month and how it is, the data looks so far, again, there are mostly drops when it comes to opportunity and applicants, which is something a little bit concerning, especially universities are starting, and then the attraction phase has started during this month. Pre-attraction was mainly during January, and then slowly attraction is coming back on the month of February. So a little bit, we need to understand why there has been a drop, though university have started, though our attraction basically phase has started from this month. So that's something we need to understand a little bit more and put an eye on consideration according to that. But then you have, of course, higher accepted by host and higher accepted and approvals in general, which is something we expected during that time, especially we're entering university times. Realization is less, which is expected. Finished is definitely more, which is something we expected. Everyone is going back to their university. But again, the completed is still a big drop. From 1 month, there has been a big drop from even finished to completed, which is something concerning, where we have to, again, take a look and insight according to that, because it's not just, it's the same people and everything. I understand entities having the new VPs are starting their term, and there's something a little bit hard to adapt with, but it's something that we should have covered when it comes to when their VPs have come to their transition phase, or MC in general when it comes to their planning and everything. So that's something we need to take a consideration of and have an eye opening on that. And that's for the OGV funnel part. When we get into the IGV funnel and how it looks so far, generally, it's good to see it's all green. Right now, the number of applicants have increased since last year, 618 to 720, which is a very good increase when we look at the number of that. Accepted by hosts is definitely increased. Accepted is an increase. Generally, when we look, accepted is decreased by 2%, but generally when we look at about the conversion rates between applicant to accepted or accepted to approved, it's definitely much more healthier data than last year, and that's something that's good to see so far. Realization 54, which means if you look at realization before and realization here, there are some, let's say, a big gap between OGV's realization and IGV realization, which is something we need to consider. how we are doing our IR partnership within the region, and what are the missing things that we need to work on. And then finished is 69. Finished, again, finished to completed on IGV part is a very big concerning. 69 finished to 14 only completed is something that we need to take in consideration. Again, I understand that it's different VPs, and most probably these experiences was managed by the previous VPs, and new VP came. Maybe there's some missing tracking, but something we need to consider take in consideration for. When we look on the comparison between January and February month, again, mostly there is increase, except the number of applicants from 888 to 720, which is a little bit means we need to focus a little bit more on opening summer peaks and giving our let's say focus for the next couple of weeks or months on opening summer peaks opportunities slowly, so because it's the type of market that will require from now on. 182 last month was 181, 123 accepted. So when we look in general, there are growth in certain areas, except realization, which is kind of understandable, but then a big drop when it comes to finished to completed, where it's exactly the same number of completed than last month, but there are a higher number of finished, 35% higher number of finished than last month. So we're missing a 35% of finished to completed, which is something we need to take in consideration on, which we'll be talking about the Insight form. When we look at the OGV conversion rates, and this is a comparison from this year, and again, the month and the year before. So from February 1st to the February 28th of 2023, the data looks pretty good. Sign up to applicant, I understand some entities. Oh, my camera is bugging. 1 second. Okay. I understand some entities are not using expat as a sign-up number, as a sign-up tracker. You have different ways to collect sign-ups, so that's something we're not really relying much on. But the applicant to accepted and accepted by host and accepted to approved is all right. Just the conversion rate of applicant to accepted is doing good. The conversion rate of accepted to approve is all right. The only thing that I can talk about is accepted to approve can go a little bit higher of 80 to 85%. But generally, when we look at the process time from last year, where the process time of applicant to accepted was 5.54 days and lower conversion rate, and the same thing accepted to approve, if then last year was 5.52, then we are doing 5.52, then we are doing much better when it comes to tracking, and much better when it comes to the nurturing of the accepted and the applicants we have. So that's something good. Of course, results can be better, but according to last year, it's going well so far. But when we look at the, sorry, I have a mistake here. No, actually, it's right. When we look at the last year, so from the left side was the last month, right side from the last year is again definitely improvement when it goes to the process timeline, as applicant to accept it takes 2.7 days. Last year was 2.9 days. Accepted to approve last year was 7.28 days, and this year was 3.55 days, which is good when it looks at the process timeline and how to prepare our EPs for the experience and everything. And generally the conversion rate is doing well. So great when it comes to OGV side and how it's running. Can do better, but it's going well so far. And then when it comes to IGV conversion rate, this year's, well, this month's February, applicant to accepted 33% with 2.8 process timeline, and accepted to approved is 7 process timeline, which is something is good to see that it's getting better when it comes to process time and conversion rate. But it is, again, it's understandable because you have the new VPs where they're more excited to do the work. They're more ambitious to their goals. So most of them will be excited at the beginning. So it's good to see such a conversion rate well and tracked well in a certain point. But last year, when we look at the comparison, again, it's a little bit, when we look at the conversion rate, is a little bit lower, but the process timeline is much better. So you have conversion rate applicant to accept is 33%, but accepted to approve 72%. Applicant to accepted from last year was 42%, and accepted to approve was 52%. The only alerting phase here for IGV's conversion rate is accepted to approved. It definitely can go a little bit higher, and that's a main part of how to communicate, well, LC down. We need to downscale with the LCs, how to communicate with the home entities to be able to make sure the EP is followed up, and having a follow up with the EP to choose our our opportunity. So yeah, these are basically the important funnels when we look about the GV, both in conversion rates and both in analysis of the numbers from last year and this year. So that's basically it for me. And my part where I was talking about data. Now it's Min. I can leave the floor for you, where we can have a little bit more insight of the data and what's going on so far.
Okay, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for the response. Okay. So the first thing, like after hearing all of the things, and also I think you guys can reflect on the data that you have in your entity as well, to see how it's reflecting and it's connecting to the big picture of the regions. And the second thing is like now we will have some kind of conversations, and because this call we only have like 14 people, including my RSD as well. So just feel free to open the mic, and then you can share your voice. Like you can raise your hand and you can type in the chat as well. It's fine. Yeah. So the first thing we have like will be some of the questions. The first will be, we have like a big decrease when we look at the number of apply for OGV. So like, do you have any insight in your entities, or any context that you have, or like any sharing from your side as well? Any struggle that you have in right now? Oh, we have Maria. You can go. Oh, you arrived. Good job.
Yes, I did finally. Thank you. But like basically my assumptions on the numbers of applicants that decreased is mostly because also the peak is a little bit delay in terms of opens, especially for Europe. We don't necessarily have a big flow of opens and a big volume of opens in July. Right now, at least that is the case for ICK Romania, and also from what I saw in the internal processes that we have, the onboarding of people is taking a little bit too much, like more than it usually took, let's say, in 2020 or 2021. Like we are delaying the process of having applicants and starting from offline, but also the timeline of opening for summer peak for July, it's a little bit delayed.
And the global demand we have. If someone can comment on that, that would be great. Yeah, for sure.
Is this for January or February?
This is for February.
Okay, then I think I can explain from my context. Actually, the amount of applicants that we have increased in OGV on February. Like January is more of a dead month for us, let's say. But also on February, in our timeline, we had the recruitment and onboarding processes happening. So this was also something like it was a setback for our operations because we had to focus on onboarding. And it was like for some LCs also in the entity, it was a bit delayed. So I think this affected overall the numbers, because like I say that we have increased the number of applicants we have, of course, but it was just like some specific LCs in the entity that worked well. And then we ended up having more applicants overall. So I think it was more about the, like in the timeline that we have, this recruitment happening in February and the onboarding processes. So I think it was the reason why we didn't, like for Portugal, that we didn't have a huge amount of applicants. In March, now I see that it's even getting like higher and higher. So yeah, I think I can say that for the reason why we didn't have many applicants for OGV. And the other reason I think was that we had for my partners, like we had four, I won't name them, but we had four main partners that we were focusing on mostly, and for some of them, due to also external reasons that are happening in the world, our customers were also concerned. So they also weren't interested in some of the countries that we are working with because of these reasons, and we were trying to work on how we can ensure that they feel safe having an exchange in also these countries that we are working with. So this was also another reason why we had these degrees, because then because of these like recent events happening in the world, we kind of not lost partners, but we lost interest from some of our partners from our EPs. And then in our like other two partners, we were working with them, but S&D wasn't aligned because we needed more supply, basically, and our supply was divided. So I think that's it. I don't know if I explained it in the best way possible, but this was the scenario for February for us.
Got it. Do you have any discussion with the IR partners to update about the situation so that you can get the on real-time situation to update to your customer?
Yes. We had this, and I shared some news with our LCPs, with my network. But now I'm working on more on like preparing something that we can also show to the customer.
Understand. Yeah.
And like what kind of safety measures are we taking? How is the situation? And like also, I don't think everybody in Portugal have a good understanding of what is happening in the world. So they just hear some news. They're not they're not informed very well. So we are also trying to understand how we can inform them better and show them what kind of safety measures are we taking to keep the realizations in these countries.
Great. Okay. Any more sharing from any entities? Right. Okay. So we can move on to the next questions. Finish to complete conversion rate. Yeah. So what is the issue that you are facing so far, and any action step that you are taking? You can share that one. Ada can go. Wow, I have been waiting for you.
Okay, so I can also wanted to out loud to say I think this finished completed data is a bit wrong. Or like not wrong, probably after updated, or like I think the question that we need to ask is not like finished completed rate, why we are making completed in the proper operational timeline. I mean, after finished, we need to have 2 weeks later, we need to have these completed. But like in a live way, I kind of check data with core and the other parts, and we are almost double or triple to this completed numbers right now. And that means we are having it finished, but after finished, like we are kind of losing that timeline to make EPs completed most probably. I think they finished the completed conversion rate about this data, mostly coming from that side. Maybe OGX side, maybe IGV tracking side is being late in the operational timeline to make EPs completed on time. And just because of that, we need to also see the updated version of the data most probably. And after that, still we have low conversion rate about it. But as I said, I think until end of March, we will have around 70 or 60% finished completed rate minimally. That's what I am expecting according to operational timeline. Yeah, I think the main issue is this. We lost how to work with post experience phase as a like operations, and we have still missing point about it. to how to track, how to make EPs completed, maybe how to track the exchange standards. Of course, for this 20%, we need to increase our tracking about exchange standards, and we need to understand which entities are implementing what kind of strategies, the mappings and the deliverables, this kind of I guess, as I saw, RSTs also have this kind of direct project to create some mappings and like to proposing something. I think it will be more helpful to increase the overall the finish to completed rate in the whole Europe. Yeah, that is my direct comment about it. Also for this data part. Yeah.
Thank you. Any more input from you guys, or any more discussions? Thank you, Ada. Let's invite someone that's not talking yet. Oh, Ken, you can go.
Okay, it's very short, but I think from my side, I also explained a bit yesterday on GTA side that most VPs don't have a very good knowledge in terms of preparation and experience delivery, and well, this is also not my biggest focus right now because like there are several different subjects that they are lacking in terms of like lacking knowledge that I'm trying to fix or like work on. And even some of the knowledge they have are very basic, so I'm also trying to educate them more on different topics that will make them focus more on the consideration phase of the customer flow currently, because of the timeline. And I also see, for example, we are having a conference next week, and I can see that like when I ask them what are the topics and subjects they would like to hear in functionals, or like they would like to learn that they feel they are lacking in terms of, or they don't feel comfortable with, it's mostly realizations. And like from my side, it's also a bit about the education. In terms of like preparation and like realization, finish completed, like I think after approval, until approval they have knowledge, but after approval they don't know much about like how they should proceed. So yeah, I think it's a bit more like that for now. And this is a situation that I'm facing currently, and I'm trying to see how I can work on these without taking the focus from consideration part. So yeah, this is mainly my struggle for the finish to completed.
Understand. For this, I want to ask all of you guys that the structure of you guys will be in the LC would be like all of the members will focus on consideration at the times, or you divide them into like some part. For example, someone doing sales and then someone doing preparations and talking with the customer more about customer engagement.
From my part, I can say that since the structures that we have in the LCs are very small, like to give an example, we have overall 6 or 7 members in each LC in OGX. That's why they have the same JD. And well, usually like because we don't have many realizations, VPs and TLs are like more ongoing tracking the realizations that we are having right now. Because on GV side we had 2 or 3 realizations on February, so it's like not that much overall.
Understand. How about the rest? I'm not sure if you guys implement this one, but just give the input if you guys already implement, okay? I remember I faced this situation in AP and also in my entities before, and one of the thing I do in this I did and this it's worked well. It's like I have the department in the LC, and because of the structure, they are all doing the same JD, but at the same time, I divide them into educational PIC, which means I will see they do the same JD on sales, right? And then I will categorize them into, okay, so this, for example, I have 10 people. I see 5 people is very good at sales. So I let them to be the educational PIC of sales. And for the rest, I let them to be the PIC of customer engagement. PIC means they need to learn fast on how to, for example, the sales group, they need to learn fast on how to do sales and how to improve the conversion rate and stuff like that, and educate for the rest of the people. So meanwhile, they're doing the same JD, but they have like 80% of doing sales, 20% of customer engagement. For the rest of the people having 80% of customer engagement, which means they still need to talk with the customer, prepare for the customer, talk with IR to prepare a good experience to them. But at the same time, they will do sales. So the entire department not losing the focus. Yeah. So anyone already tried this method? You can give the input. Or Cam, have you ever tried this one? Do not losing the focus of consideration, but at the same time you can improve a bit in terms of preparation for the else.
Well, I think for me, I'm trying to do that with ESTs. So in my EST structure, I have network managers, which are recently elected. Like I elected one of them today, so they are still being onboarded. But my goal is to create like touch points with VPs and asking beforehand what are the topics that would like to focus on in terms of education, and having an ongoing education on the topics that they would like to discuss. And the way I'm going to track this is going to be through recording through Slack, not Slack, through Zoom. So I will have the recordings already, and I will check the PPTs of the transitions. That's how I'm planning to track the education, like the quality and the topics that they are going to they are discussing with ESTs.
Okay, got it. How about Florian? Anyone want to give more input on this? 3, 2, 1. Okay, we can move on. For the next question is how to onboard membership on it. The learning curve for how to do the work for new members and how to have the old members or team leaders working with sales. Since you guys focus on consideration and sales as well. I saw that who Ada having the visit, right, or summit. Yeah. How was that experience?
Okay, I can mention I didn't raise my hand because it's more like the OG focused. That's what I understood. But one of the most important part in the funnel right now, which about new members or even experienced members of team leaders, does not know what is the deep knowledge or like what is, how can I say? Okay, each one of us, each member at some point knows the value proposition of GV, knows some specific information about GV, but they do not know how to customize this information while in the implementing operation. that's the knowledge level that I see as the biggest bottleneck. And like when they want to sell, sometimes OGX, ICX, it doesn't matter. They are kind of stuck in the funnel. And even like for OGV, it is more different. But for IGV, we just freshly started sales in the last 2 years. And last 2 years also a short time. Last 2 or 3 years is also a short time to having a professional mindset about this GV sales or how to use it in the more this value proposition or something, and this is not created generated yet. I think it should be a bit accumulated information with the merge with the practical experience. That's what I'm seeing in the product. And after also the pandemic process and the GV change management cut a lot of the experience source for the members and team leaders. And like we need to regain that information, and with that things we can create better membership in terms of operational knowledge and this stuff. I mean, this is the bottlenecks that we are having, especially I think the overall I kind of sensing that is the general in Europe, and that part, and this kind of bringing back timeline shifting, and like in the February we don't have any sales properly most of the time, or maybe a applicant missing, and even these kind of things are cause of the conversion rates and the finish to completed sometimes. Yeah, that's my general comment, general ideas about this topic.
Got it, got it. Thank you, Ada. Do you visit like all of the LC in your entities or just some LC?
The most of the entity, most of the LC has this problem.
So you visit them one by one.
I visit them one by one.
Do you have any kind of discussions or agenda to discuss with the LCBT before?
What I was doing? It was February. I kind of described as a sales peak for me. I mean, it should be start sales peak because March is coming with a huge approval peak. That to catch it, I wanted to focus on sales for February, and just because of that, I shaped my visits according to two information. One is increasing sales efficiency. Second one is what else is missing and needs right now. I kind of collected that insights and I created my agenda according to customized for each LC. I had some static or dynamic topics. Static topic was the most sales, and I also mentioned a bit history of GV and how evaluated until now. Then, and also to understand where it comes our bottlenecks from our past. And after that, I kind of motivated more them to make sales, to understand the product more. And with that, I kind of try to fulfill their missings in their daily operation and sometimes membership, whatever problem they are having.
Got it. Understand. That's the my one. How about Michal? Have you had a visit to the LC? Or what kind of
Currently, I don't have any visits when it comes to the like visiting LCs. The one is going only to be for the one LC that I'll be coaching because they're going to have a track induction and they need to be provided in it. So yeah, like currently I also didn't plan to visit the LCs. Like maybe I will consider it.
You can ask Adam, so we can follow up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. How about OGX side? We have Can and Seville from Azerbaijan. Yeah, you can go, Can.
Okay, to explain from my side, I think, well, we have planned visits already, and like we booked LCs for visits, etc. But the main bottleneck is the budget. So, because of that, like I don't know for sure if we are going to be able to do it, but we've been seeing also what could be the possibilities that we could have if you do not manage to have a budget for that. And we are looking for like possible scenarios in which so last semester, instead of visits, we decided like we did a BCXP summit with marketing. So marketing and OGX, we did a summit together, but it wasn't the most insightful thing because everybody was together and every LC had different issues. So we couldn't address specific topics to each LC. So we were talking about having them maybe in groups, like, so we do less visits overall. So we do like 3 visits and we do it in groups, or we were talking about doing it maybe online in the worst case scenario, or what was the third one? I forgot about the third one. So but we have some scenarios already prepared for this. We are discussing until I think next week I will know for sure if we are going to be able to do it or not. But yes, I like this is what we are going to do. Like at least we will have it in the worst case scenario online.
Understand. I think you can take the input from Ada, like we group them in terms of situation, and then customize for the problems of them. I think it's work. Yeah, this can lessen the cost effort. And last time when I do the visit, we have some support from the LC as well, like hosting and then kind of support the MCVP to come, like that. Yeah. So actually, I also can ask MCP to present to the LCP about the importance of that, and then asking the LCP for the support. Yeah, but after that kind of stress, because I need to prove that, yeah, this is added value to the member and it's benefit them. Yeah. Cool. Nice. Then next one we have accepted to approve. The conversion rate 70%, 77 is definitely the improvement. So now we aim higher. Do you guys have any more solutions on you doing with your departments to kind of raise the conversion rate higher, where we are lacking of applied? Then I think conversion rate raising is kind of solutions while waiting for them for marketings. Can go.
Okay. So for us, I think it was when we see the like when EP gets accepted and then later on doesn't get approved, it's usually because we have a long process time. And I think like the ones who get approved more easily are the ones who after getting accepted, the ones that like have everything done in like 2 days maximum, so that they get approved right away. But we had some EPs in February that took too much time to be approved, and those were the ones that we were struggling the most in terms of or like they were dropping out from the process because of that. I don't think it was only from our side, like from OGX, but it was also from the EP side that like they were indecisive or they didn't have the right expectation setting overall. So what we are focusing on is more on the expectation setting that we are having in the beginning when they enter the funnel, like not on marketing side, but like on the after the first call. And then we are trying to shorten the process time, even for the like for their interviews. We are trying not to pass more than 1 week, because sometimes people here are like very used to booking things for like 1 week later. I think it's more of a cultural thing here. So we are also trying to battle with that, so that they don't book their interviews like 2 weeks later and then it becomes a whole thing. So yeah, we are mainly focusing on the process time to increase our accepted to approved conversion rate, because mainly we are already working only with partners, so we don't have any problems from ICX side.
Okay, got it. Okay. Because we have two OTX, two O like two O and two I here. Let's see. Let's ask you guys like, have you guys ever discussed with your IR partners to from OGX side is to filter the capacity of the EP, and from ICX side is to trust your IR partner for that pool. For example, when I have like my IR partners, right? And I know that IR partners really require the EP who speak very fluent English and also who very active and energetic. I would try to filter from my OGV side to take those kind of pool. And for those who already filtered by me, my partner will trust me and then just accept very fast. Like, do you guys have any conversation like that with your partners?
Yeah, mainly I think like we don't have the issue, I think, in terms of getting accepted. Because also I think it's also because like since we are approving in Europe and we are an entity in Europe, and well, I think the supply that's like from OGX side that providing to IGV side in Europe is very low already. So we easily get our EPs easily get accepted. So for us, I don't think it's like we are not struggling with that.
It depends on EP.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, also.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Have you guys doing sales from OGV side and IGV side based on the personality of the EP?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
For example, let's see. DISC. Mommy, can I share the screen for a bit?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let me share this one. You can see. Okay, in here, right? Have you guys ever seen this one before? The DISC one. I think this is familiar to you guys, right? When you guys apply for any position, right? Is it?
Oh, it's this. Yes.
Familiar, right? Okay, great. So we have these tricks when we do sales and we work with the EP. So we let them to do the test before, and then we kind of like when we do sales to them, we kind of debrief this one and talking about that behavior of them in their life. And then because after that, when we understand their communication style, right, we will try to match them with the IR partners that having some kind of opportunities that fits to those guys, or we know how they communicate. So we try to use the type of communications to talk to them. For example, if they are belong to the group that require a lot of data analytics and stuff like that, so we will bring a lot of data to them. Like, so this is our partners that having like this much experience, how many opportunities, and how do they develop, how many EP already joined in the past, how many having good stuff like that. So have you guys ever tried this one to an EP from both sides, OGV and IGV? Not yet, right? Yeah. How do you think about this? Interesting. Yeah, you can try. You can try, and then you can bring to the members to try as well. I'm not sure if you think that is interesting, but I make it like I try it and it's worked in my entities and with other entities in AP as well. Yeah. So I think you guys can try this one. Yeah, nice. Then, mommy, you can share and we can move on with those.
Yeah, sure. Give me a second.
Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me, okay? Don't just like, interesting. Okay. Yeah, so the last thing is OGV contribution mainly came from Romania, Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Ukraine. So yeah, this is just the last thing for you guys to notice. And all of the conversations for the next question as well. From OGV, from IGV is more about Romania, Turkey, and Italy. This is all the things that we just discussed. And this is more for ICX, IGV side. The open project right now need to be very focused, especially summer break is coming up. And what is the action plan? Having like the tracking for it, like just having some context about IGV side, like how do you work with your partners? We have two IGV here, so you guys can raise the idea. We have Mihal, right?
Yes, I can start. I can. Sorry for that. So the question is how to like work on the opens, we can say.
Yeah.
Okay, like at this moment, I like I draw a lot of lessons from my previous semester. Like first of all was like that I believed my commission too much, in my humble opinion, and I didn't track them enough. So like my one thing that I have in my routine is to like every first day of the week, like, which is Monday. Every Monday, I'm asking each of my VP about how's the process with the opens, like what did they sell to what partners, and I'm asking like especially like what's the name of the partner, like the name of the schools and so on. When the project starts, like are they interested, when is the meeting, and I'm tracking them, all of that. Like it helps me feel like they have a bigger control, and they also feel like more safe about selling because they know they can feel that they care, so they feel more motivated, I believe. So this is the thing, in my opinion.
Thank you, Mihal. How about Ada? Working on open project.
Okay, for open, as I said, the biggest thing is also the knowledge that they have. Besides of that, it's also about the diversity of SDG part that I will connect with that part. Our enabler diversity is really low. I mean, the most of time we are working with the language school, and if we make analysis, minimum 70 or 80% of the enablers will be language schools in the countries. And that's kind of gives really tight amount of working area in IGV, because as a project portfolios, we need to also work on this different organizations. And especially when we couldn't work this kind of organizations, the mostly we are sticking into the SDG 4, which is the most common SDG. That's also a bit this diversity usage also for the open part is a bit problematic. Like I don't think opens will not like this only part is like quick actions on opens to make them in proper timeline, or like making prepared for these peaks beforehand. Like I have, even if I pushed a lot in February for my network, most probably they will still a lot of improvement points they're gonna have in the March, and probably shift like peak will be shifted a bit from my part as well, just because with the timeline management and the working with the timeline is still a challenge for us. Most of the entities fixing it right now, but I see as still a biggest bottleneck that we have for opens. We are gonna have opens, but it's gonna be a bit late as Europe. That's what I'm seeing.
Understand. Right. How about the diversity of SDG?
For diversity of SDG, it depends how we are working, how we are learning to work with the other type of organizations, because the easiest way to sell to language schools, because they have money, mostly they have money. They have possibility to have money at least. But when it comes to NGOs, they don't have money to like directly buy something from us. And just because of that, it depends what kind of proposals are we creating for this kind of organizations to attract them more, like what kind of profits we can contribute their operation with that collaboration. I think when we achieve this part, our market will be either it's gonna be more diverse, either our peak will be expanded, because we are not going to stuck in the summer, only summer. We can also make some off-peak opens, off-peak realizations will be increased after we solve that issue. And I think this is the next step, but it will take time.
Okay. How about me? How for the diversity of SDG?
Okay. It is not much actually. Like it's mainly like the 80% or even 90% of the projects in Poland are focused around the SDG number for the quality education. That's because mainly our partners are the schools.
That's
And the
similar
schools.
to Romania, right?
Schools and kindergartens, like the main stakeholders. And this is like what they're mostly striving like for them from portfolio. It is like they mostly like the global classroom project. If we would love to like to aim for the other SDG, I like it would be directed to the NGOs, but at this moment the NGOs in Poland, they are like not willing to come to the project because they have to pay, like instead of like the not just only pay for the project, it is not problem for them, but the bigger problem is the problem with the accommodation. So we are trying to also this problem like make it resolved. And with that, I think we can work on some more SDGs, because I also see like one of the LCs is trying to do the SDG with the connected with the environment, I think to the 14, and the project will take place in a zoo. So
Okay.
so yeah, those are the ideas that they have. So that's it.
Yeah. Is it because
And also I need to add one more thing. Sorry, I forgot about this. One thing is that also like when I'm talking with the IR partners and asking them about this, what is their main SDG that most people are going for, they're also saying it's 4. So
that's fine. Okay. Is it in your entity as well, Can and Service? Yeah. In Romania for sure. How about EP in Portugal and EP in Azerbaijan? They prefer SDG number 4 or they want more diverse one? Let's hear from OGX. Oh, Azerbaijan say yeah. Okay, makes sense now. Okay, understand. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I think that's it. And our main focus. Okay. Now we can go to some of the call to actions for you guys. Just some, like you can have more call to actions. Can 3, 4, 15. Okay. Understand. Yeah, so the first one is marketing synergize. Make sure that you work well with marketing and bring them on the same page, or you guys from your side can suggest the solution for them to attract the right target as well. And make sure your new LCVP knows how to synergize with the LCVP marketing. Yeah. For this one, right, you can actually, because you are the one who talk directly with the customer. So you can get some of the point or some of the input from the customer, or asking them, like interview them and then giving those input to the LCVP marketing. And for IGV as well, you are the one who interacting with the partners, so you know how to talk and then get more insight from them or get the feedback from them, so that you can give to the OGX people. sales pitch, make sure that your sales team can adapt sales method to different people's style. This is something that I just introduced to you guys, not just from OGV, but from IGV as well. When you know the personality of that person, you know how to interact and talk to them. For example, I remember last time when I work as OGV and I have so many people, so many EP that introvert and they feel insecure when the IGV approach them really proactively. So then after that they withdraw. But I didn't know that one. Yeah. So after all of the group of the people who withdraw, then I really find the root cause and I saw this one. Then I give the feedback to my IGV partners and they adjust the type of like approaching of the people. Then it's work. Yeah. For considerations, I think you can discuss with your commission how to improve the conversion rate. Not just you analyzing by yourself and then downscaling to them, but let's have some conversations and asking them more so that they can also from their side giving their context and also suggest the solutions. National education cycle, you can, let's say, listen to all of the people here sharings and then you can implement that. And different LC need different type of support. Some of the LC you can have like visit, some of the LC you can have like more direct support in terms of trainings and stuff like that. And members, make sure that you recognize your member effort and review the result for them so that they can see the big picture of the months, of the LC, of the entities, or of the regions. And remember this month conversion rate. Yay. So that's it for me. Yeah, so now just my RSD deliver a bit in terms of support, coaching report. Then mommy, you can go, mommy and my team.
Okay. This is also a space if anyone have any Q&A or sharing, or anything you want to talk about from what we previously talked. But if not, then yeah, we can move on with coaching report, which Yasmin will be responsible of.
Let me wait for a second if anyone has questions. He does not. Okay, amazing. Hello, people. I'm Yasmin, and so in the GV side, we are responsible for 42 entities, and from those entities, we could only do 19 coaching one-to-ones, which were our first one-to-ones. We need to, kind of work a little bit faster. So at the end of the month, like in the 20th, it needs to be finished, all of our coaching meetings. And we're doing these meetings because we kind of like need to understand the bottlenecks and how to support you guys in any kind of way that we can. And we can also get some GCPs from you or from other places, and we can report them to you. And, it can be a GCP space in this area as well. And besides that, we are trying to clusterize your operations and support each other through the way. And of course, grow your IR partnership within Europe, and actually not only within Europe, within like every place. So yeah, that is kind of like basically it from this. So mommy, can you just skip one more slide? Mommy. Thank you. Okay, great. All right, so from my side, you can see the entities that I'm responsible of, and you can also see Serkan's entities. So from my entities, I want to thank the MCVPs of Azerbaijan and Portugal, because they're the only ones that are here today. So thank you guys for attending. And besides that, like, because this meeting isn't recording, I hope other MCVPs hear this too and book us for other times as well. I will create my own calendar one more time until the 20th. So yeah, that is kind of like basically from my side. And Serkan, you can keep on going. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Yasemin. Hello, everyone. I'm Serkan. I'm GV specialist as Yasemin. I have 21 coaching with MCVP, and my nine call is have done right now, and I can't say one by one, but thanks so much all the MCVPs, and I'm waiting for your response for almost 11 MCVPs, and we can click. Yes, our motto is really cute. Constance is not revered in a short time. Two brains are better than one. Yay. We wanted to remember to book one-to-ones of March. We are waiting you, as I said. And thanks so much. You can find our booking links on this page. That's all. See you.
Perfect. Then that's from our part. That's basically it, the output of the call. I want to, before we go, to send you the feedback for the call. Just take 3 minutes from your time, not more. I will, can you send it in the chat if it's possible? Because I need to, or maybe I'll, 1 sec. That's just,
No,
yeah.
no, no. In the chat already.
Oh, okay, perfect. So it just takes 3 minutes, and then after you finish, you guys can go. This is basically the end. So I'll play a little bit music at the background, and then once you guys finish, you can,
We can take photo. We can take photo.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We can take the photo.
But make sure we have for feedback, okay? Don't leave. We will hunt you down. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Thank you for joining. No, stay here. Stay here until you finish the paper.